Welcome back, everybody, for another rant video. I didn't really want to do another microtransaction rant, but unfortunately I kind of have to, mostly due to the comments that I've seen on the last video. I'm not really going to address anybody by name, just everybody makes a good point in their own way, and I'll be addressing each comment and if I agree, disagree, and how I believe that things could be fixed, as well as my own personal opinion. And my opinion comes from my morals and how I find wrong in microtransactions and when I find it acceptable to have microtransactions. This all comes back to, the motto, the pay-to-win motto that I suggested, and a lot of people disagree with that. Several people agree with it. Even my own friends disagree with it. Some of them agree with it. But that's really what I want to talk about. And I just want to say that the microtransactions in no way have affected me on how much I like this game. Yes, it is a very big negative thing, but the game itself, the core gameplay, especially with the raid that just released, is fantastic. I absolutely love it. There are things that I'd like to change, but that's obvious. With any game, there's always something that you'd like to tweak, and that's always your personal, opinion and how you feel about it. But what I want to start off with is the comments that have come in through the video, both positive and negative. We can start off with some people that have commented saying that, oh, there's no point in getting this game. These microtransactions are ruining it for me. I wouldn't say you shouldn't get the game. Yes, we shouldn't, call for them to be motivated to continue this by buying their game, but at the same time, the game itself, we should show support to Bungie and tell them, hey, this is a good game, but we should also look back and say, hey guys, there's something wrong with it, and it's these microtransactions. And I'll start off by going back to Destiny 1, and Destiny 1 had microtransactions as well, and a lot of people make reference to it. Personally, I don't want to make reference to it just because of the pure fact that it was a complete different situation. Destiny 1, Year 1, with the Dark Below expansion, as well as the DLC, House of Wolves DLC, was a paid expansion. So you bought the game and you paid for the expansion right after. If you bought it on Xbox 360, which I had done at the time and made it a lot cheaper, the game was $50 Canadian, $60 Canadian, which was average for an Xbox 360 game, as well as $40 for the expansion pass, which I knew that for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One was actually $40 per map or $30 per DLC. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what my buddies told me. But all that to say that the first year didn't have microtransactions, but at the same time, it had paid DLC. Now, Destiny 1, Taken King, comes out, and we get microtransactions introduced. But at the same time, this expansion, with a new patrol area and everything, was around $40. I'll say it was $40 Canadian. I'm sure it was just a little under for the US. And unfortunately, I have to reference this in Canadian dollars just for the pure fact that that's what I'm knowledgeable in. It's where I'm from. So if you want, you can check a currency converter or just look up online the US price, or in pounds or euros, wherever you are, Australian dollar, who knows. But just for reference, I'll be using Canadian dollars. But it was $40. You had the microtransactions that you could buy, and it was all cosmetics. And I had no problem with it if you wanted to support Bungie. I even threw in an extra $20 to show them a little support. I bought a little bit of silver with $20. It's not much, but it was fun to open up those little boxes and whatnot. And then Rise of Iron came out. They went again with the microtransactions that continued, and that wasn't a problem again. $40. I threw in, I think, $10. Not much anymore. Didn't want to throw in too much because there wasn't much to get out of it. And they also added events throughout the year, and those were some free updates. Yes, free, quote unquote. We're paying through microtransactions. It's kind of expected, but they were fun little events. Although in Taken King, it wasn't that great. But I do have to say, in Rise of Iron, they did step up their game, and hopefully they do that with Destiny 2. But all that to say that they continued support, they added new things, new mechanics. With Rise of Iron DLC, oh boy, they added the old raids, and fuck man, that was a lot of fun. That's something that I just loved. And that's what brought me back to Destiny for quite a while. At the end of the day, Destiny 1 had microtransactions, but not from day one. Not with the expansion pass, not with the DLC. And that's when my morals come in. That's when my feelings towards Destiny 2 come in. This game was released. Right here we can go on GameSpot. They've got the Digital Deluxe Edition, which is $100 US. Just because it's on GameSpot, I can see it there. It came with the base game, the expansion pass, premium digital content, which is a sword, player emote, and a Cabal Empire themed emblem. That's the version I bought. But up here in Canada, it was almost $140 with tax, which I was okay with, because I bought the version for both me and my brother. We share it with home share, so it's not a problem. We didn't have to buy the game twice, so technically I paid $70 for it. Then we got the limited edition, which is the physical copy, which comes with Destiny base game, expansion pass, limited edition steelbook, Cabal themed collector's box, and a premium digital content, which is everything that the regular version gets. The digital deluxe. My only problem with this was, and I don't really want to get into the depth with this, $100, you get a steelbook and all this other stuff. And yet, when it comes to the Digital Deluxe Edition, you don't, but you're still paying $100. I don't really see the how they made it equal, but that's beside the point. Then you got the Collector's Edition, which is $250, and it comes with a whole bunch of extra shit. Frontier kit featuring whatever, 15-inch laptop tablet sleeve with protective whatever. It's just really, milking it for what it is, and that's the game industry now, and I can't really complain. But what really grinded my gears was seeing Eververse there. And you know what? The Bright Ingrams are fine with me if they were only available through game. I don't want to see it available through purchasing with money. A lot of people were complaining, several people were actually complaining that these microtransactions don't have to be mandatory. You could just choose not to pay for it. You could choose not to buy the Bright Ingrams. Yes and no. And this is where my personal morals and how I feel about this is. I paid $140 for the base game plus the DLCs that are coming up. Why the fuck do you have microtransactions in your game? I'm supporting you to give me DLC content by paying for the DLC. And the DLC is about to come out in December, January. That's the planned date, but it's right around the door. They could have waited a little longer to release it, but no. You know what? I'm supporting them. I paid for the DLC. Why the fuck do you have these microtransactions? Somebody commented saying them adding new things in for free, in free updates. I must be the crazy one here. No, there's no free updates in this game. Not ever since they made us pay for DLC and an expansion pass. Or the expansion pass, depends what you prefer. I paid for the expansion pass through my own free will. I'm not saying I was forced to, but I didn't want the expansion. But free updates? What, you call server maintenance a free update? You call adding the raid that we needed free updates? What, you think they didn't make enough fucking money when Destiny 2 was released? They sold several million copies. What, you think they didn't have the game ready? Fucking Christ, people. Come on. Free updates. Free in all caps. How can you say that? It's not free. Not at all. Not by a long shot. But I don't really want to stem on this comment for too long. It's just, they have the gall to say, oh, it's a free update. Okay, but what? We didn't have that back in Halo's days? We didn't have that back with old COD games? We didn't have that with, what other games are there? So many other games on Xbox 360 that had free updates, quote unquote. And I also like how somebody else commented on it, and I actually like this comment a lot. They went on to say, Splatoon have free updates too, and they don't have microtransactions. Fucking Splatoon! The game sells less than fucking Bungie's games do, and yet they have constant fucking updates. For free. No microtransactions. They don't have any. And yet here's fucking Bungie milking us for what we're worth. And the problem is the fucking Bungie community, the Destiny community, will suck on that teeth until it's out of fucking milk. And will keep sucking until it's just powder. I love Bungie. But ever since they partnered with Activision, they've shot themselves in the foot. What happened to the Bungie that created Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, Halo Reach? Those were my favorite games. A lot of people might complain about them, but they were my favorite. Anyways, I did say this was a rant, and I'm going on a tangent now, but where's the old Bungie that cared about the community, less about money? A lot of people have been upset about this. And some people are even saying, oh, why are you complaining? You know, we can get the boxes through playing, and it only takes about an hour for one. None of the mods are worth it after 250 Lite. They are worth it when you can convert those mods at Banshee 44 to get legendary mods that boost your light. That's pay to win. You're paying to get mods, and then you just end up converting the mods into something a little better through another vendor. Indirectly, this ruins the economy of the game. I can buy $20, $25 worth of silver, go ahead and boost my light level using those mods. Yes, at the end of the day, they don't count that much, but still, 5 light levels, I'd be at 295 light, almost 300 light with that shit. But I'm saving up those legendary mods. But if I would buy a bunch of boxes and got a bunch of mods, I could convert it and I'd have no issue. But here's the community trying to say, hey, fuck you, man. You're hurting our feelings. You don't have to buy them, you can grind for it. Fuck, man, I've been grinding on my Hunter. And I'll tell you something, those mods make a difference. Those mods to get my abilities to charge up faster, they make a fucking difference. Especially playing the raid. If it weren't for those mods that I had, even the blue ones, I wouldn't be competing as well as I would in the raid. And even then I'm struggling, just like we all are. Trying to solve it on our own. But that's one of the struggles with Destiny, and that's the struggle with Bungie now. They won't listen to what we have to say. They're just gonna do what they want because the community will fucking suck their tit. And I don't have anything against the community. I do have one thing against them. It's the fact that they'll blindly follow Bungie just because they're Bungie, and not realize that Activision are the ones pulling the strings behind, and that the corporation and the company that we used to know and love are no longer there. It's just a bunch of robots pretending that they care about us. But that's something else on its own. I'm going to read out this person's comment, and I'll put it on screen. This is going to be the only comment that I put out. And I really agree with what this person had to say. I'll even throw in a little credit at them. Chad Hull here, he did edit his comment, but he says, microtransactions does not need to be in a AAA game. Like this now, if it was free to play, that's a different story. But this? At the same time, not surprised at Bungie doing the same thing like they did with the first game. That's why I didn't buy Destiny 2, because I have the feeling they're going through the same crap, and what do you know, I was right, they do not care about the fans. And Destiny fanboys are so stupid to fall right into the same trap all over again. I also heard them player versus player only have 2 mod and no Crucible, 2 modes I think, that's what he meant, and no Crucible. What the hell, I actually liked Crucible back at Bungie. They say they don't have they don't even care about the multiplayer. That just show you they don't give a damn about what gamer wants. All they care about is money. And it was a little roughly written, and I don't blame him. Could be angry, especially at Bungie. But I just want to point out, yes, the first game did have it. When Destiny 1 released, it wasn't the same, but this is why it's creating more of an outrage. And a lot of people around the community, gaming community in general, are really frowning upon this shit. I'm going to keep playing Destiny 2. I am a fanboy to a certain extent, but I'm not a fanboy enough to defend this kind of crap. And this would be stupid of me, because I'm such a small little YouTuber. I do this for fun on the side. And I just express my opinion, and if you agree with me, that's fine. If you disagree with me, that's even better. We can have a nice discussion, although nobody has ever replied to my comments yet, except for one person, and even then, their comment, didn't make sense. But just to say that, we should stop supporting this kind of attitude. We need to take these microtransactions and tell Bungie no. And I'd ask you guys too, my small audience, fairly small, to in a way, boycott the Ingrams, these Bright Ingrams. Why? Because it'll show to Bungie that their sales are down when it comes to microtransactions, and that the people don't want this shit. We don't want it. And, you know, some Destiny fanboys or Bungie fanboys will sit there and say, hey, you know, we should still support Bungie. Yeah, support them. But don't support this attitude. If I had a pet dog and he pisses in the house, I'm not going to congratulate him on that. I'm going to take him outside and tell him, you pee out here. Same thing, if he starts whining for a walk, I'm not going to take him out. I'm going to wait until he calms down and we go out on my terms. The problem here is Bungie is setting up the terms. They're saying, hey, here's the DLC, here's the game. Oh, but here's microtransactions on top of that. If you want to get good mods, you should buy these, get more mods, and then spend it at Banshee. Don't let them set the terms. We're in control. The gamer. The client. And the problem is, the clientele nowadays are just so juvenile, so blind to it all. And I'm not that much older, but I can see the stupidity behind it, and I can acknowledge that this isn't right and we need to stop this. So I'd ask you to just back off. Don't touch the Bright Ingram store. Don't buy any silver. Still decode the ones that you get through leveling up. That's definitely, you know, all up for grabs. But don't buy any. And I know a lot of people are probably going to, you know, have a backlash on this. But if you have a backlash and you have something against it, don't do it. Spend your money. Waste your money on it. And at the end of the day, you're part of the problem. And that's something that I can't agree with. I don't hate you for it. I'm sure you're a great person, but at the end of the day, you're part of the problem. You're encouraging this bad behavior. And as for people who aren't buying this game for the microtransactions, once again, you don't have to buy them. Like, I'm not buying any. But I understand your willingness to not support something this stupid. And like Chad Hall said, if microtransactions were in this game and it was free to play, or in my opinion, if it were $20 or $40, all good. Go crazy. Put all the microtransactions you want. Put all the mods you want. But this is wrong. Making me pay $80 fucking plus the expansion, which I chose, but I still wanted it because I know everybody else will, is fucking ridiculous. It's a mind-boggling thing. And for those of you who might say, oh, they have to make up how much they spent on this game, let's put it into perspective. Let's say they sold over 2 million copies. We'll estimate it to about 2 million. 2 million times, let's say just base game, $80 Canadian. 2 million US would be around almost 2.5 million Canadian. Or should we just go with the US? You know what? We'll go with US currency. We'll go with the US dollar, $60 a game. Just base game, let's say everybody bought base game. They sell 20 million copies, 2 million, sorry, not 20 million, but let's say they just sell 2 million. I'm sure they sold more, but we'll just go with 2 million for a small little reference. 2 million times $60, that's 120 million. If we go over to the list of most expensive games ever created, top 35 includes Destiny 1, but no Destiny 2. And this kind of is interesting because if you look at the budget for Destiny 1, it was 140 million. So if everybody bought base game, 2 million copies, base game of Destiny 2, which Destiny 2 doesn't even show up on the list, and, you know, 140 is about the average for each game, if not less. It doesn't even show up on this list, and if anybody says this list isn't updated, it includes Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2017 release. So if anybody's got any doubts, I know it's Wikipedia, but I do trust it to a certain extent because I don't believe that this would be a lie. It might not be included, but 140 million, you make 120 million just on the base game, not including the PC sales. Guys, they made up their budget. I'm sorry, but they made up their budget, and this includes any development costs and anything else they have. They made up their budget. That's not including DLC. So whoever's fanboying over this, You got to wake up a little. These microtransactions are just to milk you. Whether it's Bungie or whether it's Activision, we have to stop it. And that's why I am personally boycotting it. I know some of my buddies won't be buying it, not because of boycotting, but because they find it's a waste of money. It is a stupidity to add this in a game where the expansion is there. If there were free updates with actual content, then maybe. But there's no news on that. Anyways. There were other things I wanted to address today, just a personal little review on the game. So far I've been enjoying it a lot. Aside from the stupidity that they've been pulling, I've been absolutely loving the raid, loving the grind. Speaking of grind, and I'll just deviate from my small little opinion over it. Somebody did comment saying that, oh, you can get these boxes in under an hour. Bullshit. I've done all the activities, all of the, missions, events, exotic quests and everything on my hunter. Still waiting for my, 20 plus bright engrams. I've had at least 5, 7 maybe, at most, on my hunter. It's bullshit, because you'll get your first 5 really quickly. Then if you're not grinding public events constantly and patrols and just killing enemies, like, honestly, for you to get 1 an hour, you gotta be fucking efficient at grinding, and I'm pretty efficient. And I'm not gonna bust my balls trying to get stupid bright engrams or spending money. It's really stupid, and it pisses me off that they did this to this game. God. I'm just really disappointed. Anyways, back to the review. The story was pretty good. Could have been a little longer. I'm sure they could have fit in more. Goal is possibly the best character ever. He's more human than any other character in the game. And I would recommend this game if it weren't for the microtransactions. I can't give my 100% seal of approval. But I can say that if you're willing to go into a game that is corrupted by the superiors at Activision and some of them at Bungie, then go right ahead, be like me, be a total, hypocrite in a way. But I definitely recommend to take an eye to it and try it out. Even if it's just a trial, or you go to a friend's house and try the game out, see how it feels for yourself, and then make your choice, your own personal opinion over it. I don't want to influence anybody. I would recommend it to people who love these types of games, these MMORPG open world games. That's great. If you have a problem with microtransactions, you might have a problem with the stigma, but other than that, the game is fabulous. It looks beautiful, plays great. The PvP is one of my favorite things, especially the competitive mode. But yeah, it's a good game, and people should give it a try. But once again, just stay away from the microtransactions. Don't spend a dime on that shit. And we need to show Bungie that there's something wrong with what they're doing. This is a shorter video, but I'd just like to end it off with thanking everybody for their support so far. Even those who disagree with me, you still made the effort to listen to some of my points, and still made the effort to, comment and have a discussion with me. And, it shows that people are listening, that, we have a voice, and we should use this voice to benefit ourselves, benefit the community. And the biggest thing I can say right now is just thanks for the small size support. It's still appreciated. And let's just make Destiny better and bring Bungie back to their roots. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do share. Spread the word about this. Mostly the problem with the microtransactions. I'm sure a lot of other people have made comments about this. But definitely spread the word about it. And let's show Bungie that the community doesn't want to stand for this. And we're tired of this stuff. We're tired of them pushing us around. We're dedicated to them. And they should give back to us. But yeah, definitely, like or dislike, depending on your opinions. Comment down below. I love seeing the comments, even if they're negative or positive. Always good to know. Good to know what to improve on. But I'll catch you guys out there. Just want to put a little self-promotion here. We do have a clan. It's on Xbox One, unfortunately not on PS4. If I had a PS4, I'd also put the client on PS4, but it's on Xbox One for now. Client is moderately sized. That's the name, not the actual size of it. I'll let you guys know if you can't find it. You can always send a message or a friend request to my gamertag. I'll leave it up in the top right corner. But no, that's about it, guys. It's really, we have our client. We're trying to expand it, trying to bring more people in. Obviously, we will have some rules. We don't want people to just barge in and start saying stupid shit, but that's all. You know, if you guys want to join, feel free. Just let us know. We'll let you in. So sorry about that. Jesus. Got a little cough. Talking for a long time without any water really doesn't benefit. But yeah, thanks for the support. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all the stupid shenanigans that everybody else says on YouTube. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully it's not a rant, but if it is, maybe a good one. And if you guys want to see a review, let me know.